Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we are doing this purple heart Valentine acrylic design, so I really hope you all enjoy watching. Now to start off with, I have already got a tip in my practice hand to act as my thin clear acrylic base, so we're going to jump straight in and do our extended nail bed. And for this I'm going to be using the Diamond Nail Supplies acrylic system and this beautiful color here, which is Sassy. This is probably one of my favorite core colors from Diamond Nail Supplies. It's a really pretty peachy nude shade, but as you see it's got a beautiful shimmer to it. It's great for doing things like French full cover nails. It's really pretty for ombres as well. So we're going to start off. I've placed my bead down and it is freezing in my nail room, so when acrylic is cold it tends to set a lot slower. So as you can see here, I've placed it down, but I'm kind of just guiding it and waiting for it to set a little bit, and then as it starts setting I'm going to be able to start using my brush to press it into that French shape. So it probably does look as though I'm doing a lot of faffing, but I just want to make sure that I get the shape as neat as possible, and I don't want any of this acrylic coming off of the nail tip and flooding the side walls. So I'm just kind of trying to work with it, use my brush to create that shape, and I'm having to do this a lot longer or a lot slower because the acrylic is taking a little bit longer to set. I will be so glad when the weather gets a little bit warmer. It feels freezing right now and I'm really not enjoying it. Like roll on spring or even summer. I'm so ready for summer now. But now as the bead of acrylic is setting up, I'm able to create my smile line shape, and I like to do as much of this as possible with my brush so that I don't have too much filing to do. Then once I am happy with the shape, I'm going to come in with my next bead of acrylic. As you can see, I've placed this down just away from the cuticle area, and then I'm going to use the tip of my brush to get it as close to that cuticle as possible. And then I'm going to leave a lot of this product there for the apex area. So all I'm doing is neatening up the side walls and then just bringing the top of that bead of acrylic down and blending it into the previous bead of acrylic. I don't want to mess about with it too much. I've already created my extended nail bed shape, so I'm just building up that nail bed area a little bit more. And then at this point it did look just a little bit too thin in the apex area, so I come in with another small bead, popped it straight down into that apex area, left a lot of that product there. I just blended it slightly into the cuticle area and slightly down the nail, just so that there's no shadowing or unevenness in the colour. And then that is our extended nail bed finished, so I'm going to wait for it to completely set. And then although I said I've done a lot of the shaping with my brush, I do always still like to come in with my file and just crisp it up a little bit more. But the neater you get your shape with your acrylic and your brush, the less filing you have to do. Now the file I'm using today is one of the new Kiki London 100/100 grit rectangle files, and I am really loving these for my acrylic sets. As you can see, these files are rectangular in shape, and a lot of the files I've been using recently are the half moon shapes. So it's been a little while since I've used a rectangle straight file, and I absolutely am loving it for any kind of acrylic shaping. Here all I've simply had to do is crisp up that smile line, so there wasn't too much shaping to do. Then once I've done that, I'm going to make sure we clean away all of the dust, and then I'm going to come in with this gorgeous colour from Diamond Nail Supplies. This is Grape Jelly, and this purple shade is quite unique because you can get a very full coverage opaque shade from it. As you can see here, it's a very kind of like a Cadbury purple, but if you use it fairly thin or a little bit wetter, it kind of gives off that jelly effect, and that's basically what I want down at the tip of the nail. So I'm gonna place my bead of acrylic down, push it up against that smile line, but then I've just feathered it down ever so slightly so that it's quite thin at the very tip of the nail. So then it gives off this effect where you've got the full opaque of the purple down at the smile line, and then it fades out into that jelly purple at the tip of the nail, which was really pretty and exactly what I wanted, because it kind of looks like a little bit like an ombre without actually having to do any kind of ombre work. Now, whenever I'm doing my smile lines, I like to actually break it down into sections. So I put my first bead of acrylic down in the center of the nail. That's where I'm going to have the bulk of my acrylic color. Then I come in with 2 small beads either side of the wings of that smile line, just because this is how I personally find it easier to really get down into those smile lines, especially when you're doing quite a deep smile line like this one here. So once I was happy with the purple acrylic application, I'm going to come in with my little purple hearts. So all the glitters we're using today, we're just going to be using 2. Both of those are from Charlie's Nail Art. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wash of clear acrylic down just over that purple, and then I've tipped some of these little hearts out, and then I'm just picking them up individually and placing them down on the nail. I picked them up individually because I didn't want any of them overlapping too much. One, because I don't want to add too much thickness and bulk to the nail, because we're working right at the tip of the nail. We've already got a clear base down, we've already got the purple acrylic down. Then we're going to place down our glitters, and then we need to encapsulate. So I don't want to layer anything up unnecessarily. So I've kept the purple glitters in place. I've made sure that none of them are overlapping. And then I have this other glitter mix from Charlie's Nail Art. I can't 100% remember what this one is called, but I will have a look on the website, and if I can find it, I'll leave it linked in the description box below, because I didn't label the back of this one. But this one is a mix of all different shapes. I have just picked out the hearts, and then I've layered these over the purple hearts, and I'm just again doing exactly the same as before, a thin wash of clear acrylic just to hold these glitters in place, and then I'm individually using my wet brush placing down each one of those. And this is why I didn't want my purple glitters to layer up too much, because I knew I was coming over the top with these iridescent effect ones, and I really love the kind of clash of the holographic purple and then these iridescent sequin ones as well. So I'm nudging these around until I'm happy of how they're all placed. Because of the size and the fact that the iridescent ones are a little bit chunky, I didn't actually take any of them down into the wings of the nail, but we've got the purple acrylic there anyway. Then it's time to come in and encapsulate. So I'm taking my Diamond Nail Supplies Clarity, which is their clear acrylic. I've picked up a medium-sized bead and placed that down, same as before with the purple, in the center of the nail, predominantly where I want the product to go. And then I'm patting it from side to side and bringing it down towards the tip of the nail. And then if that acrylic hasn't gone right down into those wings, I'm going to come in with a small bead and get right down into those areas. So as you see, I placed that bead down and pushed it right down into the wings, and I've made sure it's fully covered that area of the nail. It doesn't matter if you get any of the acrylic over your smile line or your extended nail bed, because you can file off the excess. So I did do the same on the other side, just because I want to make sure that there's enough product there, because if you was wearing this on yourself or a client, that's kind of where the stress point would be. So if there wasn't enough product there, you might end up experiencing breakages. So you do need to make sure that throughout your nail you have all of the strength and structure built up. Then I did come in with another small bead at the very tip of the nail, just because that was looking a little bit thin. So I've placed that down, blended it back, and then I'm just pressing it from side to side and then going over the entire tip of the nail to make sure everything is as even as possible. Then I did allow this to set, and off camera I did do all of the filing. A lot of the time when I'm working on the practice hand, I will do the filing off camera because it's just annoying, to be honest. But all I did was come in, shape and refine that acrylic, and then I come over with my buffer, give that a good clean, and we're then ready to come in and top coat. So today I'm using the Kiki London No Wipe top coat. This is one of my favorite top coats. It has a beautiful high shine, and it's a really nice thin consistency too. I did actually pick up way too much of my brush, so I'm brushing over it a fair bit, and I do end up wiping off my bottle brush just to remove some of that product, as it was a lot more top coat than I needed on the nail. But once I'm happy with the application, I'll pop this in to cure for 30 seconds, and then that, guys, is the end of the design. So it's a fairly simple one, but I really love purple for Valentine's Day, and I want to get a little bit more French practice in, so I thought it would be good to do some of these one nail French designs. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. Let me know in the comments below if you are feeling the love for the Valentine's nail designs. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.